Welcome back to TerrierVision. We're here with Wofford Volleyball's head coach, Ron Sweet. Ron, thank you so much for joining us here.
Thanks for having me.
No problem, no problem. Your second year at Wofford.
Yes.
Last year, team 13 wins last year. You know, a lot of success last season. Made it to the Southern Conference tournament for the first time since 2006.
Right.
So, you know, that's big for the program. You know, kind of run us through, before we get into this season, kind of run us through last season, what you thought, what you saw that, you know, really was good, and things that you want to work on for this year.
Well, we really changed, I think, the mentality that was here at Wofford, where we changed everything to being extremely aggressive, extremely, you know, just going forward on every play. I mean, I think that we saw that a lot in our serving. We were not the best serving team in the world, but I mean, because we missed so many. But at the same time, we were ranked nationally for a number of aces because we were going behind the line and going for it all the time. So we really tried to change the mentality that they had here, change it into more of a winning mentality, and start to get the group to believe that we can win here at Wofford.
Now, speaking of aces, heading into last week, this team was ranked number 5 in the country in aces percent.
Yes.
And I know that, you know, it's very early in the season, only 6 matches in, but, you know, that same mentality is kind of, you know, being instilled, where you want to go for it on the serves. And, you know, if you have a service error, you have a service error, but, you know, you still have to go for it on the serve.
You know what, we need to be thinking long term about this, and, you know, eventually we're not going to be playing you know, just in conference. We want to be talking about playing in the NCAA tournament. And when you're talking about the types of teams that you're going to see in the NCAA tournament, whether that's, you know, Florida and Florida State and Duke and Penn State, if we're not going for it on our serves, they're just going to run it down our throat. So we're trying to instill that in them right now, that you have got to be aggressive and go for it on every play. Because if we want to win at the next level, that's exactly what we have to do. And that's not something we can just turn on and off the day that we get there.
Now, this season you've got 10 freshmen on the team, 10 newcomers. You got 9 of your freshmen are new. You have redshirt freshman Elise High, and then 10 newcomers because you have Caitlin Slade, who I think's around here somewhere.
I think she is.
She came from Cali County Community College, won an NJCAA Division II National Championship, just like you did at Kishwaukee.
Yep.
How many times did you?
5 times.
5 times.
Yes.
From, do you remember the years?
2001, 2002. And then 2006, 2007, 2008.
Now, what is it like to have such a young team this year? I mean, compared to last season when you had 5 seniors and you had quite a few, you know, 3, 4 juniors. This year, 10 freshmen, very young team. You know, what is does your coaching mentality change from last year to this year?
Mentality, no. I think that the way that I deal with them is a little bit different. We are making a lot of freshman errors right now. I think we're getting really tense at the end of games right now, which I think has been evidenced in some of the losses we've had, because we've had leads in several of these games and lost. I think a lot of them are getting nervous toward the end, not wanting to make that last mistake. So I don't think from a mentality standpoint I've changed. Nothing about the way that I'm teaching them to be aggressive and go for it has changed. I just think it's changed a little bit because I'm having to be a little bit more patient with them and understand that these are growing pains that they're having.
Now, this weekend, the team plays at home for the first time this year.
Yes.
You got a 5-team tournament, Gardner-Webb, NCA&T, Tennessee Tech, USC Upstate, and of course, Wofford. You know, is there anything you're looking for in particular this weekend at home? You know, kind of run us through what you've seen so far this season, and, you know, things that you really want to see the team improve upon in this tournament.
Well, I'll tell you, I think the number one thing that we want to see here is we're looking forward to an opportunity of showing off what we're capable of in front of a home crowd. You know, all the players have made friends. You know, other athletes that are coming to the games, obviously moms and dads that are coming to the games. We're anxious to show them on our home court what we're capable of. I think that, again, because we're so young, because we've got such a new group, it's not like most teams that maybe bring in 2 freshmen and one of them starts. We're starting 4 or 5 freshmen right now. So even our returners, the girls that are on the court returning, are playing next to all new players right now. There's not a whole lot of cohesiveness. I believe, though, over the last couple of weeks, we've gotten closer and closer as a group and understood how each other plays a little bit better. So I think it's coming together right now.
Now, after this tournament, you have a game on the road on Sunday.
Yes.
You face Savannah State at Gardner-Webb.
Correct.
And then Monday is UNC Asheville, followed by Converse on Tuesday? Is that
no, opposite of that.
Opposite of that.
Converse on Monday and UNC Asheville on Tuesday.
And then right after that, you get into the Southern Conference season. It's already here.
Right, on Saturday, yep.
Now, talk about the Southern Conference this year. The Southern Conference has 3 new teams entering the league, ETSU, Mercer, and VMI. Now, they're replacing some of the teams that left the league from last year. You're talking about Davidson, Georgia Southern, Appalachian State.
Right.
You know, kind of talk about how the Southern Conference has changed. You know, how does that help us or benefit us, or maybe how does that hurt us in a way?
Well, you know, I know several of the really good teams have left. Georgia Southern won the conference tournament last year. I believe they were also regular season winners. They've left. You know, Appalachian State right now, last I checked, they were 11-0. I think ranked 24th in the country by some polls. You know, it's fantastic to have teams like that in your conference. Not easy for us to beat, but really good for not only for the notoriety of the conference, but also for our RPI and everything else. It's good for us to have those teams. You know, I know that ETSU is coming in. They are historically a very good, I know the last 4 years anyway that I've followed them, they've been a fantastic volleyball program. So it's really good to bring them into the mix. Mercer, I don't know a whole lot about. I'm looking forward to seeing them. It seems like so far they're having a pretty good year. So I'm anxious to see them on the court. VMI doesn't have a volleyball program. Yeah. You know, so there's not much for me to even know about that program.
Now, this season, the preseason polls, he finished 7th last year in preseason in a 9-team volleyball conference now, with VMI not having volleyball. Picked 7th. Kind of talk about that a little bit. Do you use that as motivation for the team? You say you want to go out and prove yourselves that you're better than that. Run us through how you went through that in the preseason.
Yeah, we absolutely believe we're better than that. Of course, it's the other coaches that vote on it, and I don't blame them for 1 second for putting us there, because they knew that we lost most of our offensive weapons last year to graduation. They don't really know the recruits that we brought in. We feel really strong about the girls that we have, but of course, you know, there's always the factor that they're still freshmen too. So I don't blame anybody for putting us in that position, but I do think that we're better than that, and we are certainly using it as motivation.
Now, do you think you've already kind of proven that your team really has something to show this year? I mean, every week that the Southern Conference has released its Players of the Week, Wofford has had somebody be named Player of the Week. The first week, Taylor Baird was Offensive Player of the Week. The second week, Molly Mayo was Freshman of the Week. And then heading into this week, Taylor was again Offensive Player of the Week, and then you had Bella Santoro named Freshman of the Week. So do you think you've already shown to the conference a little bit, you know, we really have a lot of potential with these young freshmen, that they're really talented?
I would think so. I mean, I think that if I was them, you know, I always look at that, who's making the Freshman Player of the Week, because I'm trying to figure out, you know, who's bringing in the big guns and who's doing a really good job. I think it's pretty clear right now that we've got some pretty talented freshmen in. You know, some of them have even far exceeded our expectations.
Now, one of those Player of the Weeks that, you know, we haven't got in quite a little while, I haven't got this season, is Defensive Player of the Week, and I know that's something that you really want to work on this season.
Sure, absolutely. You know, we did a fantastic job in the off season recruiting fantastic offensive players. We did not do a great job bringing in the best defensive players. We've got a lot of front row players who don't play a lot of back row. Now we brought in a couple DSs too, and they're fantastic. But more along the lines of just serve, receive, and defense from our front row players, where we're lacking a little bit. So it has been a huge emphasis of ours. I will tell you that probably the first 2 or 3 interviews I did with you, I talked about how bad our serve receive was. I could not be happier with our serve receive right now. I think it's been fantastic, especially in game situations.
All right, Coach, well, good luck this weekend. 2 games on Friday. You have Tennessee Tech at 3:30 and then USC Upstate at 8. Yes. And then on Saturday, you have NCA&T at 12:30.
Yes.
And you close out the tournament with Gardner-Webb at 8.
At
all
8 o'clock,
four of those games, all 4 Wofford games, will be streamed online through the SoCon Digital Network. So that's something new this season. That's something that's exciting, that all volleyball games will be streamed online.
We're really excited about that, yes.
Yeah. All right, Coach, well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Head Coach Ron Sweet with the Wofford volleyball team.